Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Talk It. Today we have here with us Mr. Priyam. Priyam, thank you for taking the time to join us here today. And I think it's going to be a awesome time with you, listening to you about your presentation. Priyam, can you just unmute?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So Priyam is going to talk about one of the most important things that the economy is facing right now, which is customer service, and brands are trying to reach out to the customers in a lot of different ways. And he's going to give a entire brief about how this is going to change the future and how he has been pursuing this concept from his perspective. Priyam, you can keep your camera turned on and you can start sharing the screen right now. Thank you so much.
We just open the presentation. I hope you guys can see the presentation right now.
Yeah, it's visible, Priyam. You can go.
So the future of customer service. I'm today going to talk about customer service and how is it important for everybody nowadays. So let me start with explaining customer service. So what basically customer service is the difference between sales and the marketing part for a company. So sales is basically selling a product, whereas marketing is maintaining the relationship with the customer to whom you sold that product to. So when we add the customer service part to the sales part, we get marketing. So this is customer service. So we will start off with the introduction part. Basically, customer service leads to customer retention. Customer retention is retaining the previous customers only, and customer acquisition is another term which means acquiring new customers. It has been found out that customer retention is cheaper than customer acquisition. Whenever we are going to acquire a new customer, we have to be a lot of persuasive, we have to do a lot of work, we have to convince them to buy our product. Whereas on the other hand, if we already have a customer who is happy with us, he's going to buy our product only. I think I should give an example of my own work right now. I'm right now working on telesales department. So what I do is I have to make around 100 calls to convert one customer for the company. So it takes around 2 to 3 days to call 100 people. Out of those 100 people, let's say 70 to 80 calls got connected. From those 70 to 80 connected calls, I will only receive 10 to 12 positive response, which I will keep in pipeline. Now, out of those 10 to 12, only 1 or 2 will get converted. So this is the funnel that we follow. At the end of the day, 1 out of every 100, every 200, or maybe every 500 will get converted as a customer. So this is the part of customer acquisition, which is a costly process. Whereas if I already have a customer, I only have to keep him happy. If he's happy, he's there with me for the entire life. So customer retention is a lot cheaper than customer acquisition. Customer retention can be achieved via the means of maintaining good customer service. That is the reason I have selected customer service as the topic to speak today. Has also been found that a merely 5% increase in customer retention can actually get profit of up to 25%. So only 5% customer base will give you 25% extra profit. It is very important to concentrate on customer service. Also, one more important point is right now we know that everybody is using social media marketing tools since it's cheap to advertise over social media. So there is very less scope for no cost advertisement or no cost marketing in general. Because good customer service will lead to no cost marketing by word of mouth marketing. So if a customer is happy, he's definitely going to recommend your product. Let's say I'm using Apple phone. If I'm happy with the Apple phone, I'm going to recommend to my friend that yes, you should buy this phone. If I'm not happy with the service, if they're not providing me good service, I'm calling the customer care and they're saying that call us another day, we have a huge volume and all that. I'm not satisfied with that company. So I'm not going to recommend the product to others. Moving forward, I'm going to show you a small advertisement.
When we first opened our doors.
Since 1926.
Since 1978. For 60 years.
For 75 years.
For over 80 years. In 90 years. For over 100 years.
Nationwide has been on your side.
Restaurants have always been there for you. Nissan has been with you through thick and thin. We will do what we've always done.
Take care of people.
We're people.
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 People. People. Family.
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 Family. Family.
Family.
Family.
Family. Families. Families.
Even now. Especially now.
Especially now. Right now,
more than ever.
more than ever. Today, more than ever. Today, more than ever. Times like this. At times like these, during these difficult times.
In these troubled times, challenging times, trying times, in these times of uncertainty,
During this time of great uncertainty.
during these uncertain times,
During these uncertain times and uncertain times.
in uncertain times,
Unprecedented times.
unprecedented times.
Unprecedented times.
This unprecedented moment in our history.
It's time of social distancing while things are slowed down.
As we turn more inside,
While the doors may be closed.
while the distance between us has gotten bigger.
The more we stay apart, we still find ways to stay close, even when we're apart. Even if we can't stand closer than 6 feet,
We can all stay, most importantly, to each other.
there's still ways to touch each other.
All without leaving the comfort and safety of your home. Without leaving the safety of your home.
Home,
Your home.
at home, 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 home.
Home. That's the key. UMC are here to help. Con Edison is here to help.
Here to help.
Our teams are here. We are here.
We're here.
We're here.
Here for you.
Here for you. We're here for you. We're here for you. We are here for you. We're here for you.
We are here for you. We'll be here for you.
Runnings is here for you.
We're still here for you.
We're with you.
We're part of your community.
So you can trust us.
You can count on us.
And we'll get through this. Together.
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 Together. Together.
Together.
Together. Together. Together. Together. Together.
Together.
Together. Together.
Together. Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together. Together.
Together.
So basically what we have observed is all the companies, the major companies are here with us. They are there with their customers in the tough times. We have heard this from all the companies. In this tough time of coronavirus, we have also seen advertisements of different FMCG companies who are not selling their product as such, but they are saying that they are there with us. We should wash our hands for 20 seconds. They're not saying that use our soap. They are saying wash your hands. We are there with you. We are there to assist you. If you need any help, just contact us. Okay, so this is what we have learned from the advertisement. Now, there is a problem that I identified from this. Let's get to this problem part. So the problem is maintaining good service requires a huge staff. And in this time of coronavirus, where most of the companies are working with half staff, as well as they're working from their home. And we have also found out that in this time, there has been an increase in volume of calls by 19%. So if there is an increase in call as well as reduction in the staff, it is very difficult to maintain good quality service and timely customer service, if I can precise it. So to provide this timely customer service is a challenge right now. For this coronavirus time, we have seen a huge number of calls. Let me give you another example. I'm a privileged customer of a bank, and I've mailed them that I'm having this query that I wanted to know. They have not replied me for more than 7 days. And at the end of the day, I had to go to the branch and meet the RM over there. So I have to wait for 7 days and then go to RM. I'm not a happy customer right now. But what if they could have replied me only 1 day, or maximum have taken 2 to 3 days at max to reply me? But this was not the case. They took more than 7 days to reply me, and as a customer, I'm not happy with the performance of the bank. So they could have implemented some ideas that could have helped them to resolve the queries faster. This is what I'm going to discuss right now. The solution is a chatbot. What is a chatbot? To know about the chatbot, we will first discuss what is automation. Chatbot is a part of automation, and automation is AI, artificial intelligence. That is to develop a hardware or a software that will help us using the AI techniques. So that is a robot that can think and do what is appropriate to be done right now. One good example of chatbot is displayed by Amazon Go stores. So I'm just going to display a video of Amazon only that is explaining automation.
4 years ago, we started to wonder, what would shopping look like if you could walk into a store, grab what you want, and just go? What if we could weave the most advanced machine learning, computer vision, and AI store so you never have to wait in line? No lines, no checkouts, no registers. Welcome to Amazon Go. Use the Amazon Go app to enter. Then put away your phone and start shopping. It's really that simple. Take whatever you like. Anything you pick up is automatically added to your virtual cart. If you change your mind about that cupcake, just put it back. Our technology will update your virtual cart automatically. Once you've got everything you want, you can just go. When you leave, our Just Walk Out technology adds up your virtual cart and charges your Amazon account. Your receipt is sent straight to the app, and you can keep going. Amazon Go. No lines, no checkout. No, seriously.
Okay. So what we have learned from this side is they have used automation brilliantly. You don't have to be in line. You don't have to think about anything. Just pick up a product. It is in your cart. Put it back. It is back in out of your cart. You don't have to pay for it until you exit the store. So this is what automation is, and this is what chatbot is derived from. So this is just an example that I found of a chatbot. So basically, this is what it looks like. A human is talking to a robot, where the robot is understanding the human and then replying with the help of artificial intelligence. So discussing about chatbot, it is an artificial intelligence software that can simulate conversation in different languages with different people over different applications and via different medium as well. So it can either be a mobile website, mobile application, it can be a telephonic call. And as a matter of fact, the very first chatbot is a telephone call only. Whenever you call your customer care and ask them about anything, it starts with select 1 for English, select 2 for Hindi. This is a type of chatbot only, which has now been innovated into a lot of new ways. Another example of chatbot is airport kiosk. You go to your airport, you don't have to be in line for getting the boarding pass. You just have to click on the screen. A few clicks will give you your boarding pass. You have to enter whether you have a luggage, whether you want a particular seat or not, or whether you are willing to pay for a particular seat or not. So all these things are automated. So this automation, the process of this automating this stuff is chatbot. I'm basically proposing to introduce this chatbot as a customer service product in which this chatbot will deal with the customers and will remove their queries as much as possible. So basically a chatbot is prefixed questions and answers. We have questions, we have answers, we have fixed them in a certain format that if a customer selects option A, we have to display 5 another options. So it's a chart that is prefixed. It is a type of FAQ. We know frequently asked questions. There are FAQs on all of the websites or major websites, but we never use FAQ. We always go with proceed with customer care executive. And the basic reason for the same is we don't know if we are going to fight in FAQ or not. It is very difficult to go through hundreds of questions and find our question. So chatbot is a converted way or is a modern way of FAQ only. So what it does is, instead of looking for an exact question, it asks for some terminologies. It asks that where do you want to go? So it will drive you through the way. It will take you with you. You don't have to read hundreds of questions and find your question. It will directly tell you that, okay, this is what you're looking for and you will get this. And one analysis by IBM has shown that up to 80% routine customer service questions can be answered by a chatbot, because the questions are in general. The question that you are having, it might be possible that another person has already asked a question from the company, the same question from the company. So that is a part of FAQ, but that is difficult to locate. So here, chatbot will help you to locate the exact answer for this thing. Chatbot will provide good customer service by providing right answers at earliest possible time. Again, since it's automated process, you're not going to wait for your answers. You're definitely going to get your answers as soon as you are just clicking on your screen. That's it. It will help you in customer retention, which is, again, I've already explained that customer retention is most important for a company. So it will help in customer retention by keeping the customers happy. No waiting time is there. And as far as we are talking about introducing the chatbot, yes, I know for introduction of the chatbot into your website or into your application or anywhere else, you need an IT support team. You might need to hire some people. Or either you need expert knowledge in programming and all that. But there are a few applications as well. You can outsource chatbot services as well. just like other services, security services and other services that a company outsource, you can actually outsource your chatbot services and merge them with your ERP software, enterprise resource planning software. So that integration will help you to deal with the customer easily, as well as you don't have to keep an entire team to maintain the services. So just telling a few examples is Intercom and HelpCrunch. These two websites are chatbot providers basically. So they provide chatbot services. I've seen innovation in chatbot as well. There are a few applications that use chatbot in a unique way. Let me explain you this thing. Nikki.io is one such application. It is a Paytm-like application, not exactly Paytm, but a mobile recharge and cards bill payment and all that application. You can pay your bills, recharge your mobile, and do a lot more. And you don't have to go and navigate through the application. It's just like a messaging app. It's kind of a WhatsApp. You have to chat with the robot, and you will be able to process your recharge, I can say. So basically, this application, which is backed by Ratan Tata, it is using chatbot services as entire programming. So they're not they don't have any option that if you wanted to go manually over a particular option and recharge your mobile, you can't. You just have to go through the chatbot services only. It is a lot more convenient. You have to tell the robot that you want to do a prepaid mobile recharge. It will find you a prepaid mobile recharge option. You don't have to look into hundreds of options. So it is better. Again, Oyo is also working to introduce a chatbot system through which you can book your hotel rooms just in a few clicks via a chatbot. In hotel booking and travel sites, what I have observed is if you are waiting for 10 to 15 minutes, either the price will fluctuate because the company will update the prices, or you will get irritated, like I'm not going to find what I'm looking for. So you will leave the application and you will go for competitors' application. So what we can do is, if we introduce chatbot, the customer will get what he is looking for in a few minutes. So if you're getting what you're looking for in a few minutes, it is very good for the company that the customer might actually pay very quickly. Because he won't have to fear that the prices might increase. He has found what he was looking for in a few seconds, he's going to pay. So they're introducing chatbot into the system for booking the flight tickets, for booking hotel rooms and all that. So moving forward, we also have some other solutions with us. For example, automation customer satisfaction service. Usually a company must take customer service, customer feedback. Feedback form is there everywhere. You go, you buy some product from Amazon, you get a feedback instantly as an automated reply. So this is also part of automation. A customer feels special that yes, the company is asking for my feedback. The company don't have to invest much time. You don't have to hire some people just to look into the feedback of customers. It is all automated. That's not an issue. The customer will fill the feedback, and collaborative feedback will be just looked upon, and appropriate decision can be taken. In the same way, CRM software can also be integrated with ERP software. CRM is customer relationship management. So if we integrate the customer relationship part with the general management software or ERP software of the company, it will help us to maintain customer service even better. So the automated mails that we are sending, they will be sent properly at the right moment, at the right time, and to the right persons. And this all will be automated, so you don't have to hire a few employees for that as well. So it's economical as well. Priority-based tickets. Let me explain at this point. What priority-based ticket is, let me explain with the help of an example. You go to a hospital, you find two patients over there. One is suffering from fever, the other one is an accidental case, let's say. So definitely the doctor is going to give some priority to the accidental case because obviously it's more risky than fever. So in the same way, a company can rate different problems or different customer problems to different priority level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and deal with it accordingly. So you will have to make 5 different segments if you are taking 5 priority levels. So very high priority level, let's say level 1 is very high priority level. So you have special teams that will deal with that level 1. So in this way, if you feel that a particular query is not that much of importance, or it can be dealt with in a couple of days as well, so you can keep it behind and solve the urgent one first. That will actually help the customer to reach to the customer service as soon as possible and without wasting the time. The next point is employee surveys and feedback forms. just as we discussed in the customer service part, employee surveys are as important as customer service. A happy employee will definitely bring good sales and will bring business to the company. Whereas if you don't keep your employee happy, you're not going to get good results. How so good your idea is. Idea is secondary. Good team is primary. So you have to take surveys and feedback from your employees what they're looking for. You might get some good ideas, and this also can be automated. An automatic mail can be sent to all your company employees, and that can be analyzed further. So moving forward, the last but not the least solution that I found is development of proper stage tracking system. So what this means is every company has different stages to deal with. So let's say there is a new lead. That new lead is closed right now. You will start working upon the lead. You will call the lead or meet the person in person. So that depends. So basically, it has different stages. First is starting of the lead. Then in process or in pipeline, it has different stages. Stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The customer is willing, not willing. That depends upon it totally. And later on, either the lead is successful or not successful. So if we divide this in different segments or different stages of tracking system, what we can do is we can employ different teams, or we can assign different teams different tasks. Every employee is good in something or anything. So let's say one employee is good in closing the lead, the another one is good in opening the lead. So once we already have automated distribution system, what we can do is we can assign the opening leads to the employee who is good in opening. The closing leads we can assign to the employee who is good in closing. So what this will do is this will increase the efficiency of the employee as well. If I'm good in closing, I'm only doing the closing work, I will feel nice, and I will also be more effective. So I'm going to give good result over this as well. So this will help us in improving the efficiency as well as closing more leads in equal time. So anyhow, the company is going to get profitable in this as well. So basically, we are going to use automation in all these solutions. That depends on us that which solution we are going to take. But again, if we are using automation, every solution is going to help the company in some way or another. So that was all from my side. Maintaining customer service is important. It does not matter what you are using or what technique you are using to maintain the customer service. But yes, maintaining customer service is important if you want to be profitable and if you want to grow in future. That was all from my side, and I'm up for questions now. Thank you.
Thank you, Priyam. That was actually really wholesome to have heard from your perspective about how customer service is actually helping the business stay in connection with customers. So I have one of our questions that I had in mind for a long time. So we already have Google Assistant or Siri or Alexa or Cortana in all our mobile devices. Are there any brands that are trying to blend this personalized chatbot or assistant that is already that knows a lot about us in advance? Is there any way that brands can get in collaboration with these platforms and can know us better rather than having to introduce us to a new bot which does not know anything about us?
See, I agree that we already have a lot of brands like Google, Alexa, and Siri and all that. They actually know a lot about us. Yes, I think brands can collaborate with them, but again, data is precious, data is very important, and data is expensive as well. And I don't think that already existing chatbots that we have in market, they will collaborate with some existing company or existing brand and give their important data to anybody. There are privacy issues as well. So I think if you're going to implement or if you're going to introduce a new application or you're going to think to implement a new chatbot, you will have to work from the start, or you will have to work from the scratch itself.
Right. Now, what I thought was, if brands can collaborate directly with bigger players like this, and if Google starts to offer a very private and user privacy protected Google Assistant just for companies to use, so that the data is only available to the the assistant that is going to get access to it, it will be a better option, because rather than being introduced to a new robot that is going to ask what I like or what I want to do, my chatbot will already know where I book, where I travel, where I go, where I ride. So it will already know what kind of a person I am. So it will make the process entirely different. So I think that is one of the things that the future might come see.
can see this thing in future, and I agree with your point that it will be very convenient if the chatbot already know what we are looking for. But again, this is a hit for our privacy. We know that Google is knowing what we are doing right now. It is listening to us and all that stuff. But again, there are people who are not comfortable with, releasing all your personal information, what your personal time is being evolved as. If this is like the situation that you are telling, if this happens, I'm sure this is going to attract a lot of advertisement stuff as well. The data will be bought by companies for advertisement purpose and to know the customers better. So a new line of business will start on itself.
Okay. Thank you, Priyam. So I think Priyam is open for 10 minutes of question and answer section. So if anybody has any questions, you can shoot it to Priyam. Priyam, you can stop your sharing. You can stop your screen.
So hi Priyam.
Hello.
This is Ram here. So Priyam, when you said this priority-based ticketing,
Yes.
and you gave an example of hospital.
Yes.
So the first thing that came into my mind was this scene from iRobots movie. So Will Smith is sinking in with a young girl, and the robot saves a young girl. Sorry, saves Will Smith than the girl. So the amount of biometric data that should be taken, like for the example that you said, for an hospital, would it not be so high that the decision taking process is going to be the same? Because when I'm going to enter an hospital, right now the data that they're going to take from me is going to be my blood pressure, weight, and just my basic things, pulse and all. But when we are going to let a bot take this decision, it needs to get a lot of biometric data from us. So, and it is also going to cost more for the patient. So what do you think? So is this feasible? Maybe okay for, developed countries, yeah. But for a country like India, would you suggest it, or any other ways of how it can work?
For a country like India, actually, I will not suggest this method, I can say. It's like I understand from your example that you provided me that it will actually require a lot more data to analyze this decision, and a bot will actually take a limited data and will not analyze your situation precisely. But this is what we are looking for in future. For developed countries, this will work. I can imagine it working for developed countries, and for India, I think for in the coming 4 to 5 years, it will start working for India as well. You go to a hospital, it will take your important data. See, what all you need is, if you have right pulse, right blood pressure, you don't have high fever, you're not going to die. I'm just saying that in a positive case scenario, you're not going to die. So if a board take decision that, okay, you can be shifted to a later stage, some other people who has very low blood pressure and is at the critical stage needs to be shifted at some upper stage. So in this case, the board is going to take right decision. It will cost a little more money in the starting days, but at the end of the day, you don't have to invest, or you don't have to pay salary to a robot. You just have to maintain it, and maintenance cost is not that much of high of a robot. You just have to provide it some electricity. So I think it will be somewhat cheaper in future than investing right now and getting returns for the entire life of, according to me.
So I was watching these videos post the COVID in China and in India, how the process is very different. So in China, it's like all the cameras that they use and everything have started taking biometric data. And India, no, we do not even have cameras to just get our visual data out of it. We do not have cameras everywhere. And when we have this issue of both this privacy and everything happening simultaneously, so more than technological shift, I think the psychological shift for the consumer. So you and me are going to be benefiting out of it at the end of the day. But psychologically, us accepting this, I think it is going to be very hard. For me as an individual, it is going to be very hard because even you told many people are not going to be comfortable with giving data even to Google or Siri. They are unhappy. Now it is your biometric data, and your biometric data is going to be really scary. It's going to tell you the amount of sugar in your urine. So it can tell you you've got thousands of diseases just by knowing that. So it's a scary thing even to think about.
I actually totally agree with your point. First of all, India is a way behind other countries in technology and stuff. We know the technology, but we don't implement it. And also, if you're in a company, you're an HR manager, the greatest challenge for you is how to convince the employees to make a shift. Making a shift is the greatest challenge, and I totally agree with your point. It is a lot difficult to make a change. That is why we usually prefer to go with the current scenario. But if you make a change, and if you make a change for the society, for the well-being of a society, you are going to rise in future. This is for sure.
So let's hope we all change fast. Thank you so much.
We have time for one more question. So if anybody has one, you can shoot it and we can end the session. Okay, Priyam, I think that is pretty much it. And they had their time, and it was wonderful having you. And we learned a lot about customer service because this is the first time that we are concentrating something very niche and we are not explored it before. And thank you everyone for participating. So this video will be going live on YouTube in the coming week. And if anybody wants to have a reference of the video, or if anyone wants to see the video again, you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/reachskyline. You can find the video there. And you can also connect with Priyam if you have any questions. You can shoot out the questions to me, and we can put you in connection with Priyam. Thank you so much for being on the show, Priyam. It was really great, and we wish to join you in the future as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Priyam. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again in another video. Until then, this is Raju Goen and Team Reach Skyline and Priyam signing off.